Many seniors are told the same thing when their muscles begin to fade. Eat a can of sardines each day or add several eggs to breakfast, and your strength will return. It sounds reassuring, even logical. After all, these foods are packed with protein. But here's the reality. By the time most people reach their 60s, they've already lost close to 30% of their muscle mass, and simply adding sardines or eggs is not enough to reverse that decline. The mistake is not that these foods are bad. In fact, they are healthy. The mistake is believing that eating them alone will restore lost muscle. One can of sardines has about 18 grams of protein. 10 eggs together give you around 55 to 60 grams. To actually build muscle after 60, most people need at least 100 grams of high-quality protein every day, spread across meals and paired with the right combinations. Without that, the body remains in deficit and the decline continues. This is where confusion of 10 sets in. You think you are doing the right things, going for daily walks, adding protein here and there, yet the results never show. The truth is, muscle is far more than a number on a nutrition label. It's your body's metabolic engine. It burns fat, stores glucose, stabilizes balance, and protects you from falls. When it weakens, everything else weakens too. And while aging makes protein harder to absorb, the solution isn't more of the same old routine. It's smarter food choices that deliver complete amino acids and trigger real muscle repair. I am Dr. Jonathan Hale, and I have spent more than 30 years working with older adults in the United States, helping them stay strong, independent, and resilient. Today I'll share with you the overlooked foods that quietly outperform sardines and eggs, the combinations that make protein actually work in aging muscles, and one common pantry item that silently blocks all your progress. We're building a community here, a place where people over 60 are learning to beat back muscle loss and age with strength. So join us. Like this video, subscribe, and in the comments tell me your age, your location, and which of these foods you'll start with today. Together we'll make the years ahead not just longer, but better. Let's begin with something humble. Not exotic, not expensive, just a simple can of beans. Most people pass right over them, thinking they're too ordinary to matter. But inside that can is one of the most effective tools we have for rebuilding strength after 60. 1 cup of black beans delivers around 15 grams of protein. Kidney beans? About 13 grams. That's already more than sardines per serving. But what makes beans extraordinary isn't just the protein number. It's the package of nutrients that aging muscles desperately need. First, lysine. This is an amino acid that's of 10 missing in plant-based diets, yet it's essential for muscle protein synthesis. Without lysine, your body cannot efficiently repair and build new muscle fibers, no matter how much total protein you consume. Beans are rich in lysine, making them a perfect partner for other proteins like tuna or eggs. Second, magnesium. Many older adults are deficient in it without knowing. Magnesium is critical for muscle contraction and relaxation. When levels are low, you feel fatigued faster, you cramp more easily, and recovery slows down. Add folate and potassium, nutrients that support nerve function and help prevent painful muscle cramps, and you start to see why beans are more than just fiber. The science is clear. In a 20-week study published in the Journal of Nutrition and Gerontology and Geriatrics, seniors who added beans daily while maintaining light physical activity showed a 16% improvement in muscle endurance and 19% faster recovery compared to those on standard diets. Those are not small numbers. That's the difference between finishing a walk without fatigue or needing to stop halfway. And I've seen this personally. Barbara, 68, came to me frustrated. She ate sardines faithfully, but still felt weak and tired. Once she began adding beans to her meals, simple things like a cup of mixed beans tossed into soups and salads, her energy began to return. Within weeks, she was gardening again, something she thought she had lost for good. Beans also carry a long history. Ancient cultures like the Mayans and Native American tribes relied on beans as warrior food. Generations observed that when beans were combined with corn or vegetables, strength lasted longer, endurance improved, and recovery was faster. Modern science has only confirmed what they already knew. Beans fuel resilience. The best part? Preparation couldn't be easier. Canned beans are pre-cooked. Just rinse them to reduce sodium, then use them warm or cold. For breakfast, saute mushrooms, add beans, and scramble with eggs. Complete protein, magnesium, and potassium in one pan. For lunch, toss beans with tuna, greens, and olive oil for a salad that hits every amino acid. For dinner, simmer beans with lean beef, onions, and spices, and you have an evening meal that fuels overnight recovery. Here's what I tell my patients. Don't underestimate beans because they're simple. Sometimes the foods sitting quietly in your pantry are the ones that can keep you walking independently, lifting groceries without pain, and living life without fear of decline. So next time you see that can of beans, don't overlook it. Think of it as one of the most reliable allies in your fight against muscle loss. But beans alone aren't enough. To really unlock their muscle-building potential, you need to pair them with the next food, a protein that delivers even more power than sardines. Now let's talk about canned tuna. For decades, tuna has quietly sat on grocery store shelves, overlooked by many who assume it's just another quick lunch option. But for seniors battling muscle loss, this humble can may be one of the most powerful tools available. While sardines deliver about 18 grams of protein per serving, a single 3.5-ounce can of tuna provides closer to 25 to 30 grams. That's nearly 40% more, and every gram matters when you're trying to fight sarcopenia after 60. But it's not only the number that makes tuna different, it's the quality. Tuna contains all 9 essential amino acids, the building blocks your muscles require to grow and repair. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing protein, which means incomplete or lower quality sources of 10 fail to make a difference. Tuna delivers protein in a form your body can actually use, giving you more strength with every bite. There's another factor most seniors don't realize. Tuna is rich in vitamin B12 and selenium. B12 supports nerve health and energy production, both of which decline steadily with age. Selenium acts as a potent antioxidant, calming inflammation inside your muscles and improving the way your body metabolizes protein. In other words, tuna doesn't just give you protein, it helps ensure that protein gets used effectively. Science has confirmed these benefits. In an 8-month study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition, researchers tracked 180 older adults diagnosed with sarcopenia. Those who ate tuna 3 times per week gained an average of 4.1 pounds of lean muscle, compared to just 1.2 pounds in the control group. That's over 3 times the muscle gain without supplements, powders, or expensive diets. Just real food used consistently. And I've seen the difference firsthand. Harold, 74, came to me complaining of weakness in his arms. Carrying groceries left him exhausted. After adding tuna to his weekly routine, mixing it into scrambled eggs at breakfast, and tossing it into salads for lunch, he started to notice changes. I feel it in my arms when I lift things now, he told me, surprised. What used to feel like a struggle was becoming doable again. The beauty of tuna lies in its versatility. You don't need complicated recipes. For breakfast, scramble eggs with spinach and mix in a spoonful of tuna for an extra boost. At lunch, combine tuna with white beans, olive oil, and chopped vegetables for a protein-packed salad. For dinner, serve tuna over brown rice with sautéed mushrooms and roasted vegetables. These combinations aren't just tasty, they create what I call muscle synergy, where each ingredient fills nutritional gaps and helps the others work better. Now, I add a word of caution. Like many canned foods, tuna can be high in sodium. For seniors managing blood pressure, it's best to choose low-sodium varieties and avoid adding extra salt. Another concern is mercury, of 10 raised by those worried about frequent fish consumption. The good news is that light canned tuna contains much lower mercury levels than larger fish like swordfish or albacore. Eating it in moderation, 2 to 3 times a week, is not only safe but beneficial for muscle health. Tuna also carries a history worth noting. In Mediterranean cultures, preserved tuna has been used for thousands of years. Fishermen and coastal communities relied on it for strength, endurance, and vitality, long before modern science confirmed its benefits. They understood that this simple food could sustain elders and workers through long days of physical labor, helping them stay active into old age. Here's what I want you to remember. Tuna is more than a quick sandwich filler. It's a concentrated source of strength. When paired with foods like beans or mushrooms, it creates complete, balanced meals that fuel muscle growth, speed recovery, and restore confidence in your body. Don't underestimate the power of a simple can. For many of my patients, tuna has been the difference between steady decline and gradual visible recovery. If you've struggled with weakness, consider making tuna a regular part of your week. Each serving is not just food, it's fuel for independence. But even tuna has its limits. To truly repair aging muscles, you need more than protein alone. You also need foods that fight inflammation, short recovery time, and protect your tissues from daily wear and tear. That's where the next option comes in, a food most people never think of for muscle building, yet it may be the repair crew your body has been waiting for. Next, let's turn to mushrooms. They don't look like much. Soft, earthy, and of 10, treated as just a side dish. But for seniors trying to rebuild strength, mushrooms may be one of the most underrated foods you can eat. While a cup of cooked mushrooms delivers 12 to 15 grams of protein, already edging out sardines, their real value lies in what they add to the protein you're already eating. Here's why. As we get older, our muscles don't just need protein, they need the right environment to repair and grow. That means fighting inflammation, speeding recovery, and ensuring amino acids actually get absorbed and used. Mushrooms deliver on all of these fronts. First, their B vitamins, especially B6 and folate, play a direct role in protein metabolism. Without them, the protein you eat can't be efficiently converted into muscle tissue. Second, mushrooms are loaded with potassium, which supports proper muscle contractions and prevents painful cramps. That's something many of my patients notice immediately when they start including mushrooms. Fewer nighttime spasms, less fatigue during daily activity. But the real breakthrough lies in their unique compounds. Mushrooms contain beta-glucans, powerful anti-inflammatory agents that help aging muscles recover faster from activity, even something as simple as a long walk. They're also rich in selenium, an antioxidant that shields muscle tissue from oxidative stress, the very process that accelerates muscle decline with age. Science backs this up. A 12-week trial published in Nutrients studied older adults who consumed daily mushroom extracts alongside light resistance training. Compared to the control group, participants gained 18% more muscle mass and recovered 23% faster after exercise. That's not just academic. It's the difference between waking up sore and hesitant or waking up ready to move again the next day. I remember Gloria, 71, who came to me frustrated by soreness after even short walks. She told me her legs felt heavy, almost bruised for days. We added mushrooms to her routine, scrambled into her breakfast eggs, simmered in a simple soup at dinner. Within weeks, she noticed her mornings were lighter. "I'm waking up without that dull ache," she said. It wasn't magic. It was food working with her body's natural repair systems, and mushrooms are hardly new to this role. In Japanese tradition, laborers and samurai consume mushrooms to sustain endurance during physically demanding work. Centuries before clinical trials, they had already learned that these fungi could keep muscles strong and recovery quick. Modern science simply confirms the wisdom that cultures held for generations. The best part? Mushrooms are simple to prepare. Cook them thoroughly to break down cell walls and release nutrients, or use canned mushrooms, which are pre-softened and convenient for everyday meals. For breakfast, saute mushrooms with spinach and cottage cheese for a protein-packed scramble. For lunch, add them to a tuna and bean salad, boosting both flavor and recovery power. For dinner, pair them with lean beef and brown rice for a nutrient-dense meal that keeps working overnight. Here's the key lesson. Mushrooms are not just extra flavor. They're repair food. They don't replace protein, but they make the protein you eat more effective, helping you bounce back faster, stay active longer, and protect your muscles from the wear and tear of age. So next time you see mushrooms, don't relegate them to garnish. Think of them as the quiet allies that keep your muscles working for you instead of against you. And while mushrooms bring healing, recovery, and synergy, they're not the end of the story. To fully anchor your protein intake and supply your muscles with the most complete bioavailable fuel, you need one more food. It's not plant-based. It's not fish. It's a forgot 10 powerhouse from America's frontier days, and it may be the missing piece in your fight against muscle loss. That food is canned beef, dense, practical, and packed with the kind of complete protein your muscles can actually use after 60. For many, it's the last food they would expect to see on a list for rebuilding muscle after 60. Some avoid it because they think it's too processed. Others dismiss it as old-fashioned, a relic from cowboy days or wartime rations. But here's the surprising truth. Canned beef may be one of the most powerful protein sources for older adults because it combines convenience with complete nutrition in a way very few foods can. A standard 3-ounce serving of canned beef provides 25 to 28 grams of complete, high-quality protein. That's more than sardines, more than beans, and nearly double the protein in a serving of mushrooms. But it's not just the quantity, it's the type of protein. Beef delivers all 9 essential amino acids in a highly bioavailable form, meaning your body can absorb and use them quickly. For older adults whose digestion and absorption slow with age, that efficiency makes all the difference. Beyond protein, canned beef delivers nutrients that directly support aging muscles. Its heme-iron improves oxygen delivery to working tissues, reducing fatigue and keeping you active longer. Natural creatine enhances muscle contractions and power output, something athletes pay to supplement. Yet here it comes naturally in your food. Canned beef also contains carnosine, a unique compound that buffers acid in muscles and slows the breakdown of tissue over time. These 3 elements, iron, creatine, and carnosine, create a foundation for strength that plant proteins alone can't match. The science agrees. A 16-week study published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging tracked 120 older adults who added canned beef to their diets 3 times per week. The results were remarkable. Participants saw 22% greater increases in lean muscle mass and 28% higher strength gains compared to those relying only on plant-based protein. That difference can mean climbing stairs without stopping or needing to rest halfway up. And this isn't just modern data. History offers its own testimony. Cowboys, railroad workers, and soldiers in the 1800s relied heavily on canned beef to endure long, physically demanding days. They didn't have protein powders or supplements, but they noticed that beef sustained their endurance and kept them strong. Centuries later, we now understand why. Beef is naturally equipped with compounds that preserve muscle function. I'll never forget George, 76, who came to me after months of trying to regain strength with fish and beans alone. His energy was better, but his muscle strength barely improved. Once we added canned beef, 3 times per week, simple meals with beans or vegetables, he began to feel steady again. A month later, he told me he was back in his grandson's workshop, gripping tools firmly for the first time in years. That's the difference the right protein can make. Preparation is straightforward. Canned beef is already cooked, which means less time in the kitchen and less effort. Just drain it to reduce sodium, season it lightly, and build meals around it. For breakfast, try diced canned beef with crispy potatoes, onions, and 2 scrambled eggs. A powerhouse plate delivering more than 35 grams of protein. For lunch, combine beef with black beans, brown rice, and avocado for a balanced bowl full of amino acids, healthy fats, and fiber. For dinner, simmer beef with mushrooms, carrots, and onions into a hearty stew that supports overnight recovery. Now, a word of caution. Canned beef can be high in sodium. If you have high blood pressure, choose low-sodium versions and pair them with plenty of vegetables. Balance is key, but don't let that stop you from recognizing its value. Used wisely, canned beef becomes an anchor food, a dense, reliable protein source that fills gaps left by lighter foods like beans or mushrooms. Here's the bottom line. Muscle loss after 60 isn't just about getting enough protein. It's about getting the right proteins in the right combinations and making sure your body can actually use them. Canned beef gives you that. Quick absorption, muscle-building compounds, and time-tested strength. So the next time you walk past it on the shelf, don't see it as outdated. See it for what it truly is, a proven tool to help you stay strong, independent, and resilient. But before we finish, there's one more food we need to talk about. Not a protein booster, but a silent saboteur. It's common, it's convenient, and it could be undoing all your hard work without you realizing. Let's go there next. I'm talking about instant noodles. For many older adults, they've become a quick meal. Cheap, filling, and familiar. But hidden beneath that convenience is a nutritional trap that directly sabotages muscle health. Instant noodles are made from refined wheat flour and are usually fried in cheap oils before packaging. The result? A carbohydrate that digests quickly, spikes blood sugar, and provides almost no useful nutrients. On their own, they aren't good, but the real danger appears when you combine them with protein-rich foods like tuna, beef, or beans. Instead of helping your muscles absorb amino acids, the blood sugar spike interferes with protein synthesis. In simple terms, your body cannot use the protein you just ate to repair and build muscle. Research proves this isn't just theory. In a 10-week trial published in Clinical Nutrition, older adults who paired instant noodles with protein meals showed a 35% reduction in muscle protein synthesis compared to those who avoided them. That's the difference between slowly rebuilding strength and losing ground, even while eating the right foods. And it doesn't stop there. Instant noodles are packed with sodium of 10,700 to 800 milligrams in a single serving, nearly your entire daily safe limit. Combine that with the sodium already present in canned foods, and you set up dangerous levels that strain blood pressure, disrupt electrolyte balance, and increase muscle fatigue. Instead of steady contractions, your muscles misfire, cramp, and weaken. Then there's the problem of additives. Preservatives, MSG, and flavor enhancers may make instant noodles tasty, but they also drive inflammation. High heat processing produces advanced glycation end products, compounds that accumulate in muscle and connective tissue, stiffening fibers and accelerating decline. The more frequently you eat them, the faster these toxins build up. I think of Paul, a 72-year-old patient who came to me tired and discouraged. He was eating tuna and mushrooms faithfully 3 times a week, but always paired them with instant noodles because they were fast and cheap. Despite getting enough protein, his muscle loss accelerated. He complained of constant fatigue and aching joints. Once we replaced the noodles with brown rice and quinoa, the changes came quickly. Within a month, he gained back lean muscle, his inflammation markers dropped, and his energy returned. That's the hidden truth. Instant noodles don't just fail to help, they actively reverse your progress. You can be doing everything else right, but if you're relying on them, you're walking uphill with weights on your ankles. The good news? There are better choices. Whole grains like quinoa, barley, oats, or cooled potatoes digest slowly, keep blood sugar stable, and work with protein instead of against it. They also deliver fiber, minerals, and antioxidants, nutrients that instant noodles lack completely. Swap noodles for these options, and your protein finally gets the chance to do its job. Here's the bottom line. Every bite you take is either helping your muscles rebuild or tearing them down. Beans, tuna, mushrooms, and beef give your body the building blocks it craves. Instant noodles. They're not just empty calories. They are active saboteurs of strength and independence. So my advice is clear. If you're serious about fighting muscle loss, cut instant noodles out of your routine. Replace them with real, whole foods that fuel, not block, your recovery. Your muscles will thank you, and so will your future self. You've seen how the right foods can transform aging muscles. Beans deliver lysine, magnesium, and potassium, nutrients that keep contractions strong and recovery smooth. Tuna brings high-quality protein and B12, fueling growth and energy. Mushrooms supply anti-inflammatory compounds that speed healing. Beef adds creatine, heme iron, and complete amino acids, giving your body the most bioavailable strength support possible. And we expose the truth about instant noodles. They don't just fail to help, they actively sabotage your progress. So how do you apply this starting today? Keep it simple. Aim for 100 grams of protein daily, spread across your meals. Build each plate around one of these muscle-friendly foods, then pair it with vegetables and slow-digesting carbs like brown rice, quinoa, or cooled potatoes. 3 or 4 balanced meals are enough. No need for extremes. For example, breakfast of beans, eggs, and mushrooms. Lunch with tuna and greens. Dinner with lean beef and rice. Add variety, rotate proteins, and keep sodium under control. Aging doesn't mean weakness. It means being smarter with your nutrition. With these foods, your body can still respond, still grow, and still protect you from falls, frailty, and dependence. Every choice you make at the table writes the story of your independence tomorrow. And now I'd like to hear from you. We are building a community of older adults who are not surrendering to age, but fighting back with strength and resilience. Share in the comments your age, your location, and which of these foods you will start with today. Like this video if it helped, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss the strategies that keep you strong. Together, we're not just adding years. We're making those years worth living.